Hey everyone, this is Rudra, the Agentic Global Bootcamp. I hope I am pretty audible. And without much ado, let's begin. So, welcome to you all to this UiPath Agentic Global Bootcamp. I'll just start with the slideshow. So, UiPath, it's a global leader. You might know that they are here before anyone started with the AI thing. Just a moment, please. So, all right. So we are excited to have you here for this unique learning experience, where we'll dive into the future of intelligent automation. Again, I am Rudra. I'll be host for you today, and we have our speaker, Mr. Mukesh Kala. He is the UiPath most yeah, he is he's our speaker today, and UiPath's most valuable professional, certified UiPath trainer, and certified RPA solution architect. So I'll just go ahead with the today's session. So we'll begin with a quick introduction to generative AI and how it's making a significant impact on automation, followed by an overview of UiPath's integration with Gen AI technologies. We'll then dive deeper into the Gen AI activities package, exploring its key features, functionalities, and how we can configure and set it up without needing any third-party subscriptions. After that, we'll move ahead into a hands-on practice session where we'll walk through using actual activities like content generation, summarize text, and translate to build smarter workflows. To wrap up things, we'll explore practical real-world use cases and open floor for an interactive Q&A and share additional resources for continued learning. So, yeah, shall we begin then? Mr. Mukesh, over to you. Please start.
Great. Thank you so much, Rudra, for the introduction. And let me quickly share my screen and then we can get started. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to share my screen. Enter screen. This one. Share. And I'm just pulling up a presentation now. Able to see my presentation? I think I need to change the
Yes,
display view.
it's
Yeah.
visible. It's visible. Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, Rudra, for the introduction. I'll just introduce myself briefly, guys. My name is Mukesh Kala. I am a 5 times UiPath MVP, certified solution architect, and a LinkedIn top voice. I also have a YouTube channel where I teach UiPath AI and this new term agentic automation. Feel free to send a connection request. Happy to be part of your network, right? So today, this I believe that we guys are new to this technology. AI is booming. I want to show you that how easy it is for us today to create automation, build automation, and then actually see that what all other possibilities, right? And with that, I'll just go to a couple of slides and then we will see all of that in details, right? So first of all, why actually we are doing it? So think of it like, I believe all of you are students. You pass out the college, you go to a company, you are working there, and the work which the company gave you is something like this. I tell you that I'm your boss and I say that on daily basis you have to go to a portal, you have to download some files, you have to rename them and send an email. That's your only job. Or maybe if your job is something like where you have to see the data and copy paste it to fill the online forms, you're just copy pasting the data from an Excel to a website, doing the mundane and the repetitive task, right? You would do it 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 month, and after that you would be like, no, this is not happening and this is not my skill set. Now just think of the complete work which we have into the world which is related to computers, right? How much of the work is there which is just mundane, repetitive, where we do not need any human intervention, where we don't need human brains, and people are just doing that thing again and again. That is where we have this technology which is called automation, right? What is automation? It simply means that whatever as a human I can do with keyboard and a mouse, I had a automation or a software robot which can mimic the human actions. When I say robot, these are not the physical walking and the talking robots which we see in the movies. These are the software robots, a program running into the computer which mimics my human actions. And this technology has been there for years. Now over a period of time, it had evolved to intelligent document processing, AI, and generative AI and agentic coming in picture. These things has become more and more powerful, and then you are going to see that how easy it is for us to do that, right? How is automation helping the people today? It eliminates the repetitive task so that as an individual you can focus on the work where you are supposed to do your work. You can be more creative, you can focus, and which require human intelligence leads us to more productive. Now, you might be thinking why it is such a game changer for business and individual. It improves the efficiency. If the people are focusing on the things which they really like, they are more productive. And at the end of the day, it can work 24 cross 7. As a human, I might take leave. I'll fall sick. I am not so confident when I'm working, right? I might do human errors. I might do typing mistakes. But robots, they work 24 cross 7 without taking any rest. So you can imagine the kinds of benefits you get, right? For an employee point of view, you get job satisfaction, you have a new skill, you have reduced stress, and you have enhanced opportunities because you are doing the work which you like. And from a company point of view, as I mentioned, because it is saving us the cost, it is increasing the accuracy. As a human, I can do mistakes, but a robot, when the robot is doing, it will not do mistakes. It is a software program, so it will do the task what it is supposed to do. It is increasing the efficiency, it will enhance the compliance, which is kind of important, right? So for example, there is a set of confidential data which as a human I tell Mukesh that Mukesh, you are not supposed to touch that data or touch that database, right? But Mukesh is a human. I can just go and touch that table and extract the information. If I have a robot in place, till the time I don't tell the robot to do that, it's not going to do that, right? So you increase the scalability, you increase the compliance. Then you have something which is called scalability, which simply means that today, let's talk about the use case of copy pasting the data to the forms. You have 100 forms. Tomorrow from 100 the forms increases to 1000. Now what you need to do? You need to hire more people, you have to train more people, you have to give them salary, office spaces, computers, and all the stuff. With robots, it's just a matter of click to increase it from 1 to 1000. And when the workload decreases, you just reduce the robots from 1000 to 1. And that's it, right? Because you don't have to retrain the stuff, you just have to scale. It's just a matter of click, right? And what robots can do? Robots can actually log into an application like any application with username, password. You can move data from files here to there, you can read and write from the database, you can work with the email attachment, it can do work on calculations, PDF, connect to system APIs, and a lot of stuff. These are the basic example which all of us can relate to, right? Now with that, what are the softwares which we require to get started with this thing? Okay, previously, if I just minimize my PPT for a while, right? Previously, not previously, today also we have a software which is called UiPath Studio, which you see, which is available on my desktop. to build any solution, right? So for example, whenever we have to build any solution, we need some software to build. However, over a period of time, UiPath has made this thing something which is called low code, uh, where you do not need any software to get started with. So for example, this is my Chrome browser, right? And if I just go to this website, which is cloud.uipath.com, which is the cloud account of UiPath, it's free for all of us. You just have to register with your ID. I'm using my Gmail account, if you can see here, or my Outlook account. I forgot. Yeah, I'm using my Outlook account. You can use your Gmail as well. And here you see on the right hand side, you have something which is called Studio, right? So if I click on that, that is going to open something which is called a web studio, which means that now I do not require any software actually to go and work on the creating of the robots. I can do it directly from my browser without installing anything. You can think of a studio. For example, if I ask you guys that today you have to uh, maybe write a Java code, you might open the VS Code. If you have to write C Sharp or Node or anything, right, you need an application, a software installed on the computer to do all of that. We started when UiPath started, it started with this software which you see here, which is called UiPath Studio, which is installed on my computer, right? So it has a desktop version which you see here, and the same thing is available on the browser as well. So if you are a student, if you don't have, let's say, a high end computer, by the way, it does not take much of the resources, but you are on fly and you want to access the automation anywhere, you can directly start it with this guy which is called Studio Web. And what you see here is called the Studio Desktop. And the best part is you can interchangeably use the projects, right? So you might have seen here, this shows desktop. Any project which I create on the web can be opened on the studio, and the vice versa is also true, right? So that's Studio Web for you, which means that to get started with anything, we do not need a hi-fi software or installation setup. We can just start with something which is called Studio Web, right? Now, what exactly is the Studio Web? Studio Web is a cloud based browser accessible automation development platform where you can build, test, deploy everything you can do here. Studio Web is a great starting point for your automation journey. And the best part, it can work serverless, it can work on Windows, it can work on Mac or the Linux, because it is working on the browser. So in the Mac you can use Safari, in the Linux you can use any of the Linux based browser, and you should be still able to work on it, right? However, the window version which I was showing, the Studio Desktop, works on the Windows. And to access that, you just need to go to this URL, which is cloud.uipa.com, and you would have this guy which is called the Studio Web. Okay, these are some of the key features which I mentioned, that it can access on the cloud. You have integration with all of these things, right? The good part about Studio Web is that, let me just highlight the things here, this part, this part is important, right? Some of you might be people who are coming from a development background, and you understand that in order to write a full-fledged automation, I need to connect my solution to third-party application. So for example, let's talk about Python or Java or C Sharp, right? You guys already know programming, you are writing code automation. You might ask me a counter question, right? Mukesh, whatever you are telling me, I can easily do that thing with the help of Python as well. And yes, you can do that, right? Now if I just have to ask you that, guys, go to your maybe Office 365 account, read the email, download the attachment, extract the data from the attachment, and tell me what is there inside the attachment. Can you do that with Python? Yes, we can do that. How much time will it take to write that code? What if I tell you in UiPath we do not have to write any code, by just writing prompts I would be able to accomplish whatever I have told, because UiPath has got native integration to a lot of technologies like Office 365, Google, SAP, Salesforce, OpenAI, right? And much more. So all you have to do is just connect your projects to those services, uh, give the data, pass the input, get the output, process it, and you would have your solution. And it has power of AI and the other stuffs as well, right? This slide is important for you. Don't get confused with Studio Web and Studio, right? So I just shown you what is Studio, which is this part, right? Studio Web, which I shown you. Studio is a desktop utility which is installed on the computer. Studio Web is the one which is installed, which is available in the browser. Vice versa can be true, and these are the differences. There is a new product of UiPath which is called the Studio X. This is for the business users. So when you are doing it, you might see a new product which is called Studio X. This is for the citizen developer who do not want to code at all, and they just want to do small automation like read my emails, do this, do that, do that. All of that we can do with Studio X. For our hackathon and for our requirement, we are going to stick to either to UiPath Studio or to the Studio Web, because we need some sort of coding. It's not a no code, it's a low code. Okay. And with that, what do I need to get started with, right? You just need a browser. It can be Chrome, Edge, or Safari, and you need to have some these things, right? Internet connection and all those stuff. And I can just discard this, and let's get started now with the interesting stuff, right? So uh, I hope you are on my screen. Yep. Okay. So this is my cloud.uipath.com. You just create an account. I'll just repeat the steps. You would have something which looks like this. And then on the 9 dots, you would have something which is called Studio, which is also known as Studio Web. You click on that and you would have the Studio Web here. Okay. When you have the Studio Web, you would have two things here. One is the templates, where you can use the predefined templates. Most of you would have understand it correctly, that if I have to, let's say, upload email attachment from Gmail to the Google Drive, you can use this, you can use this, all of that you can do. Good part is you can also use autopilot to generate the automation. So I can just go here, click on this guy which says get started, and describe my automation. It cannot be a very full-fledged automation. It can work on small pieces, but it works. For example, I just say read email. Maybe I'll just move it to the other screen. Yeah, I have the prompt which is ready just to save time. Mm, here it is. So I just say get the newest email from Microsoft Office 365 Outlook and from the email body. Okay, maybe I'll just say and get me the email body, right? So I'm asking, today I have a requirement where I'm saying that get me the newest email from Microsoft Office 365 Outlook and get me the email body, right? Let me just go to my Outlook account and let's see what we have got there. Okay, so I have one email here which is like came from this, and this is my account which is Mukesh Kala @ outlook.com, and I want to use this, right? And I'm just writing a prompt, get a email from this account and get me the email body, and I say generate. Now this is working on cloud, and I just mentioned that read the data from Microsoft Office 365 account, and I given a prompt and it gave me some of the steps, and I just go here at the bottom and I say continue, right? And now this is running the automation, and you would see that the automation is created for me. It says that Mukesh, I'm going to manually trigger it, which means that you have to manually trigger, which also means that you can actually schedule automations. You can run this automation every weekly timely basis. You can run it whenever the email arrives. All of that is a different implementation, but as of now I'll stick to manual trigger. Then it says, Mukesh, I'm going to go here and get the newest email from Microsoft Office 365 account. Now a question a lot of you might think, right guys, that you never told which account to read. How does this guy know that I have to read this Outlook account? As a developer, I have multiple Gmail accounts. I have my Gmail account, I have an Office 365, I have my colleagues account. How does this guys know? And the answer lie to this small drop down here for the connections which you have already made. In case you have not made any connections, you will not see anything here, and you would have this guy which says add new connection. So I go here and I say add new connection, right? And now I am asking UiPath that connect to a Outlook account. Which Outlook account? Still I haven't told. I'm telling it that okay, I want to connect my UiPath to a Microsoft Office 365, and I just click on this guy which says connect. And now I just have to select the account which I want to use. I have all these multiple accounts which are signed into Microsoft. So I'm interested to use this one, Mukesh Kala at the rate of outlook.com. I can click on that. Your integration is loading and done. That's it. How cool is that, right? I just have to do only this thing and you would see that my new connection is coming here. Now, as my mailbox is connected, right, we have multiple different folders. You would have an inbox folder, you would have sent items and all of those stuff, right? I can just go here and I just say that I want to read the data from the inbox folder. You can see all the folders from your mailbox, right? If you are familiar with programming, just try to relate this to your coding which you will do in maybe Java, C Sharp, or Python to do the same set of stuff, right? I have changed the connection. That's why these settings are lost. Otherwise, it would be always there, right? And then you might be thinking, right, Mukesh, I need additional things. Yes, you have something which is called filters, self-explanatory. Click on that. When the attachment contains this, add a condition. If my body is having the number, if my sender is, let's say, hacked hack to skill, if my recipient has my college email id, if my subject has a credit card, then only I want to read that condition, right? You can use an and condition, you can use an or condition. All of that is your implementation, which I'll leave it to you depending on the use case which you want to create, right? Now when you read that, it's saying that get me the newest email. Then what I want to do here, right, I want to just say email body, right? And you can just, maybe I'll just remove this and I'll just print that thing, right? So I'll just remove maybe this, and this will give me the latest email and I want to get the data out of it. So I'll just go here and I will say log the message, right? And I want to just print it, right? And then in the next upcoming we will see that what we can do. And in the message I'm saying that I want to print this. As you can see, I'm getting the complete list from the email. I want the subject, body, blah blah blah, all of these things here. I am interested into just printing the body, and that's it, right? So it will just go and print the email body. And if I just go and if I just say here test step by step, as you can see, step by step you can debug the solutions, right? Or you can directly go here and say test on cloud. It will run and execute and give you the solution, right? I'll just go here and I say test on the cloud. And what is happening here, without writing much of the automation, I have instructed my robot to go to the newest email into my Office 365 account, extract the body and print it here, right? If you can see here on the output panel on the left hand side, this is still working. Once this is done, in the body, in the output panel, I am expecting the body of the email which I have sent, right? So you can see here this was successful. This is now testing. It is using my integrations of UiPath and Office 365, testing that connection, getting me the data. From that it will extract the email body and then it will just go and print the stuff, right? We just have to wait because this is working for the first time, right? And it's not only restricted to this, you always has an option to do a lot more, right? So meanwhile this is loading, then we can continue. Okay, I have an email, right? Yes, I have this email which is inquiry regarding the vendor text id, something I have on my email box, right? So it's still testing. We'll just wait. And meanwhile this is loading. You have other stuff here. Let me quickly show that to you as well. I'll just go to cloud.uipa.com, right? The same stuff. And if you go to the studio, right, this one is still running, testing. Here, these are all the different templates which you guys can reuse into your automations or into your solutions. These are the pre-built automation. You might be aware of Slack, right? Notify me on the Slack when an email is arrived. When an email is arrived, you get a notification on Slack. Upload email attachment to the Google Drive, self-explanatory. Move files from OneDrive, Microsoft, notify me when an email is received, right? So for example, let's say I want to do today for CV screening, right? See, screen resumes against the job description. Use case, download email attachment. All you have to do is just go here, click on that, and it will use this thing. You just have to connect to the Gmail, connect to the SharePoint. You just say use the template and you are good. Okay, it's taking a little longer as expected, so let me just quickly stop this, and maybe I'll just test step by step here only, right? I triggered it on the cloud, so maybe something is running on my cloud. I need to check, so I just run here, right? I'll just say continue. Okay, so this is successful. It is testing. Yeah. Okay, and then it gave me the output here. Okay, now you might be thinking that Mukesh, you got the output here. New event published on Pune. Objective is to do this, right? But I was expecting this thing, because meanwhile I received the other email, which is here, this one. So it read this email because that's the newest email. Let me just quickly go and maybe delete this, right? And then it should go and read this, right? But you got the idea. I'll just mark it to unread, right? I'll just go here and I'll just say test step by step, right? Because I think my cloud was running something else. That's why it didn't work last time. So I just testing it, and now it's going to read the latest email, because last time when I read it got the new email. And you can see here, I hope you got this email, invoice number, blah blah, blah, whatever we have, everything is now available onto this thing. Now all you have to do is you can just continue to do the stuff with that, right? How cool is that, right? You just have to uh, get this data, download the attachment, and do the stuff, right? And with that, now this thing is Studio Web. You can do all of these integrations and all whatever you want to build. Next step, I want to introduce you to generative AI, and that will open a lot of use cases for you. Right now, what is this generative AI? I'll quickly give a summary and then I'll come back to you to showcase that how does it work. Okay, so this is done, and I'll switch this. Tick. Okay, great. So UiPath Generative AI pack. What is generative AI, right? So generative AI is a technology same like ChatGPT, everybody is aware of, where you can just write a prompt and get the information. Now, as a developer, now today I have a requirement where I want to use this AI slash generative AI capabilities into my thing, and I want to use an LLM. Let's talk about the same thing. Like with Python, you want to connect to an LLM, you have to call the API, you have to write the code, you will get the data in the JSON, deserialization, get the data, and do all of stuff. With the help of generative AI activities, it is just a matter of dragging and dropping the activity and you are good. What are the features? It has a lot of things which you can do. Like you can summarize the content, you can translate the content, you can rephrase it, you can classify. It is a prompt base. You just have to write the prompt, and rest other things it can do. It can work on Studio Web, it can work on Studio Desktop. So now I believe you guys understand what is Studio Web and Studio Desktop. It has something which is called context grounding, which means that you can also restrict the AI to work only on the data which you have provided and not use the internet data. That's called context grounding. You don't need any subscription or any vector databases for that matter. Everything is managed by UiPath for you. You just have to define your use case. And on top of that, we have something which is called UiPath Trust Layer. Whenever we are using any AI for an enterprise or for my personal data, I always have a fear, right? What happens if my data is getting trained? What happens if my data get leaks and all those stuff, right? All of that is covered by something which is called UiPath Trust Layer for you. So you are inside the trust layer of UiPath, and with the community edition you also get free access to all the popular LLMs, and you don't have to pay for the infrastructure, for the LLMs, for the API, for the tokens, anything at all. You just have to define the use case, run it, and it will be able to give you the direct access, right? Last one, it has connections, as we have seen, to Office 365. All of that, it works without any hiccups. You just have to connect, and that's it, right? I'll show that to you in action, and then you would be able to relate, right? Then there are a lot of activities which are available into UiPath Studio Web Generative AI. First activity which I'm going to talk about is the content generation, right? What do you mean by content generation? Content generation is simply an activity where you write a prompt and you ask the LLM to generate the content for you. It could be simply write me an email wishing happy birthday to my friend, or something like read my email box and tell me what is there. All of that is a content generation. Wherever you just write a prompt and you extract the information, can be done with something which is called content generation. It can work on window, cross platform, right? And with that, let's go to let's go back and let's see what we can do, right? So this was my thing, right, which I just created this. Now any time we are creating an automation, you can see there is a small plus button here, which means that I can use another activity. Now what is an activity? An activity is a building block for automation. So if you see here, all of these are happening one by one. First it read the email, then it logged the message, then what do I want to do after that? You can keep continue writing the automation here. So for example, now this is my email, right? This is my email. From this email, I am interested to get what is the invoice number, right? Or maybe it has an attachment or anything, right? Now I can just go here into this plus button and I can just add an activity. I just say Gen AI. That's what you are going to learn in this complete thing, right? And I just say Gen AI, and you would see that on the right hand side, you are getting a lot of different activities, which means that you can automate with all these stuff. If I remove this, these are all the things which you can automate: Citrix, Bamboo HR, Bravo, Calendly, Cisco, database, data service, DeepSeek, Freshdesk, Google Workspace, Greenhouse, all of these are the native integrations for you. Google Vision, Office 365, which I just utilized, PayPal, right? SAP, Shopify. Think about the use cases, guys, which you can build using this. Just an integration, right? I'm interested in Gen AI, so I'll just go and type Gen AI, and you would see a lot of Gen AI activities here. You can click on this button here. We have a Gen AI activities, and it will filter you all the Gen AI activities for you, right? And these are all the generative AI activities which are available for you. Name, self-explanatory, right? Translate the text from one thing to another. So I am interested in, let's say, content generation, right? That's what we told. This one, content generation. I use it here. Again, the same concept. It is asking me that, Mukesh, which LLM and all you want to connect, right? I just go here, click on add new connection, and it is already connected. I don't have to pay anything for that, right? And now if you select on the drop down which model you want to use, Gemini, Cloud, GPT-4, I want to use the latest one. What is the prompt you want to use, right? The prompt could be simple. You can simply write that, okay, write me an email to wish happy birthday to my friend. Or you can write a complex prompt that from this email body I want to extract that information. You can do that. There is some important stuff here which is like PII detection, which is like personal identification information. If you want the automation to hide your personal information, you can also do that by just a matter of true and false. If you say PII detection to true, it will hide all the personal information from the email and you are good to use it, right? So let's define the prompt. What is my prompt? So my prompt is, which is the email body, right? I can just go here and I say from email body, okay, I want to extract the, what was that? I want to extract the invoice number, right? So from the email body, I want to extract the invoice number, right? What is the system prompt? I just say you are a helpful assistant, context grounding and all is there. You can manage the properties, and then you have a lot of other properties as well. What is the token frequency? And the output is coming into this one, right? You can get a mass task and all of that is coming for you, right? Now once you have got that, what do you want to do with that ID, right? You can now use it to print it, input into some other application, depend on your implementation. But for me, I just go here and I say that I want to simply print it, right? And now it's asking me, Mukesh, what do you want to print? So I say I want it as an information log. This is the level. And what do you want to print? I want to print the, from the content generation. If you see here, these are all the activities, right? From the content generation, I want to use the, I don't want the mask test, I want to use the top generated text. So if everything works as expected, what should happen? It should go to my mailbox, read the data, extract the information for me, and print the data back to my console here. And we should only see this one, right? Let's go here and I say test step by step, right? I hope you guys are following along this thing, and you're finding it easy, right? You just need to be familiar with all this activity, and then you are smart enough to figure out yourself, right, what has to be done next. So I'll just say continue. It's reading my newest email. You can see here. Uh, I'll say ask me later, and it has got me this output, and then this is successful. And if you see the output here, see, uh, copy to clipboard maybe, and then I'll put it in the notepad. Not able to expand it. Yeah. The invoice number mentioned in the message is this. Without me writing a single piece of code, I just use one activity which is called content generation, and I was able to use that. Right. I could use the same activity actually, and I can just say for the email body, which is this, right? Write a reply which I can send to the customer, right? And then I am saying that you are a helpful customer support assistant, right? Whatever is your use case, right? So you can think of a use case where you have a mailbox where you are receiving a lot of emails, complaints, and you want to generate a reply from that thing, right? And once you have generated the reply, you might have guessed it correctly. Right now I'm logging it here. You could actually go and say reply to the mail, and you have activities which are available here. Reply to the email, reply to the message on WhatsApp business account, Teams, Slack, depends on your implementation, right? As of now I'm just logging the reply message here. So instead of the invoice number, now this time I'm asking it that whatever which let me just correct the spelling, it will work anyways. So for the email body, whichever I have got, I want you to read the email, extract the content, and then give me the reply which I can send back to the customer. Then I can say reply to the email, and then it will actually go and print that stuff, right? So I'll just wait. Let's see how it works. I say continue. Okay, new email. It's reading from the body. This is the email, right, which it has printed, which is coming from this activity. And then this was the email, and this is the reply. Let me copy to the clipboard, go back here, and I just paste it. Let's try to read this response. Dear Mukesh, I hope you email find you well. Thank you for reaching out regarding this. I have checked my records and I'm pleased to confirm that the status of the invoice is insert the status here, because it does not have the status, right? We have not connected any application, so it just plays the placeholder for you. If you need assistance, please provide, let me know regarding your request. Please insert it is this, right? Thank you, and this, right? But if I would have configured it correctly, it would have directly replied this thing to the customer, right, without me writing much of the code, right? And that creates a thing. For example, now if you just go here and you notice that was a content generation activity, and Gen AI gives you a lot of other activity which other trainers in the upcoming sessions are going to cover all of these activities, right? But you guys are now aware of, so you can just go and utilize this thing, right? You have something which is called detect language, content generation, image classification, all of the things you can still go and do here, right? I will tell you one more activity which is going to help you guys to build some of the use cases, and then you can actually do it on your own, right? So I'll just go here, and I hope this is great. So you understood this. So I'll go back to the top and I'll create a new solution. I'm going to create a fresh solution. And by the way, whatever you have created, it's not lost. You can just come to Studio Web and you would see all the things which you created here, right? So this I created 32 seconds ago. This is the same automation which we have been working on. Okay, I can just go here and I say create new, and I say workflow. Okay, and now I am manually running it, so I just go here and I say manually trigger. Okay, now before I go to that, let me quickly show this to you what we wanted to do, right? We have an activity which is called summarize text, which opens a lot of use cases for you. And one of the use case, you will get it as an assignment also, right? So you have something which is called summarize the text. The input to that summarize text is a long piece of text which you provide to the LLM. You just have to provide what is the text, what is the summary, and how do you want to get the data. You want to get it in the chronological order, you want to get it in a bullet, you want to get it in a number list, or how do you want to get it. So this activity is called summarize text, which is again from the UiPath GenAI thing, and it's available into the same place where we have the other activities, right? So let me quickly go back to, sorry, my bad, here, and I can just click on this plus button, and you have a Gen AI, and I am interested in something which is called summarize the text. Okay, summarize the text. Again, it has taken the connection. In case the connection is not available, you can click on that, add a new connection, and you will get the stuff from there. Okay, now let's start with something, right? You have a very long, let's say, call with your customer and an agent, and which looks something like this. Let me just pull up the notepad here. Okay, multiple use case can be created. I am going to show you some of the use cases so you can relate to them, right? So I'll just copy the stuff and paste it here, right? So this is a long email chain which is running between you and your customer, right? Customer support team license is not working, support team says this, support team says that, right? It's a long email chain. Now you can read this complete email from your Outlook, Office 365, Gmail. You can read it from a download from a portal. All of that is your implementation. How does summarize activity work? For the summarize activity, this complete thing can become an input. So I can just do Control A, Control C. As of now, I am hard coding this stuff, but as I have shown previously, you can actually read an email, send it to an email, read it from the email, and then use the summarize activity. It will work as expected. Okay. Now it's asking me, Mukesh, where is the text to summarize? So the text to summarize is this, right? The text to summarize is this. Whatever I have got in that notepad, I have put it there, right? Now, how do you want to, okay, number of summary of words, you can put it here. And then how do you want the summary? You want the summary as a paragraph, a numbered list, bullet list, chronological in the order, or what, right? I'm interested to get the things into the bulleted list, and that's it, right? I have just passed an input, and I am asking the generative AI summarize text activity to summarize this and give it in a bulleted list. And what do I want to do after that? You can just go here, you can send an email, you can reply to the customer, you can put it in the database. All of that is your implementation. You can post it, by the way, as the tweet as well, right? You can see here X, right? Or I can just log a message so that we can see the output here, right? So I'll just use something which is called which is log message, right? And then what do I want to print in the log message? That from the summarize text activity, I want to print the summarized text. Okay, I think I clicked multiple times, my bad. Okay, so I just want to print the summarized text, and I want to put it as an information, right? So that's the log level. How do you print it? And that's it, right? If I just go here and I say test step by step, what should happen? It will go, it will run, and then it should print here. I'll say continue. Okay, and then it is successful, and in the log messages, okay, I think summarize text. Okay, I selected the wrong variable, guys, my bad. I wanted the summary, right? Which is this. I wanted the summary. I just printed the variables. That's why it is showing me the variable. Happens. I'll just run it again. And what should happen? It will actually go and give me the summary into the bulleted list. Hopefully. Let's see. I'll say continue. Right. And if you go here, I'll copy this. I'll take it back to our notepad. So this was my complete email chain, right, which I was going through. And this is the output which I have got. The support team has asked Jane to confirm the license and the purchase date. Jane provided the key and she bought the software last week from the website. The support team identified a typo in the license and provided the corrected versions. Jane confirms the new look fine and the team for the prompt assistant. Without me going to read that complete email chain, I could actually go and summarize, right? Now think of the use cases. It could be a long piece of an article. It could be an agreement. It could be, let's say, a legal agreement between two parties, and you just say that, okay, I do not want to read the complete agreement. Just give me the summarized text in the paragraph or a bulleted list, right? This activity will do the magic for you. And once you have that, as I mentioned, you can take it to anywhere, whatever you want to do with this activity, right? It will do, right? And the good part is you can actually use it for other stuffs as well. So for example, as of now, the input here which I have provided was something between a customer and all. But let's say you have a call, right, which is happening, and you have a call transcript or a meeting transcript, right? So I'm just going to pass a meeting transcript here, which is like this, where the agent says something, the user says something, the agent is saying, right? So this is a conversation maybe which is happening between an agent and a customer, and now I want the generative AI to summarize this. Now this conversation, you can get it from the Teams meeting, you can get it from the Zoom meeting, maybe something from StreamYard, right, where you have recorded all of that. You have the meeting transcript, pass it to this activity, test step by step, and it should be able to give you the stuff, hopefully, right? And I say continue. Okay, testing, summarizing the text, and here it is. Let's copy, take it back to the notepad so it is easy for us to read. Here it is, right? Agent confirms a duplicate charge caused by the system error. User request for the refund. Agent processes the refund, which will appear in 3 to 5 business days. User expresses gratitude. Agent asks if there is anything he can assist with, right? And this is coming from this conversation which we have got here, right? So you don't have to read the complete conversation, you just pass it here and you can build it, right? And this way you can use it for the other use cases as well, right? Now that was the generative AI activities. I just covered two activities today. One is the content generation and another is the summarized text. Content generation can help you to just give a prompt and it can generate the content for you. Summarized text, as the name suggests, it can summarize. You can get this input from anywhere, and all of that stuff is your implementation. And I hope now you guys have a lot of use cases in your mind. Okay, before I wrap up the session, I quickly want to tell you that UiPath Studio Web as a tool can do a lot of the actions as well onto the website or into the applications. For example, I'll just go here so that you are open for creating new and new use cases, right? I'll just go and create a blank use case quickly, right? And meanwhile, I'll just open a website which is called, let's say, Acme. Okay, so this is a website. Okay, and maybe let's try to do something, right? I'll go to the invoices, and here I want to type the invoice name, which is 467210, and I want to click on search button. But this action, whichever I am showing, I want to do with the help of an automation, right? Can I do that? The answer to that question is yes, right? I'll go back to my UiPath Studio, which is this. I'll say manual trigger, right? And then into this plus button, all of that is something which is called UI automation, which is user interface automation. And you will get here, which is called the UI automation. Now you can see here you have all these activities which are available here. Now what are the things you want to do? I want to go here and I want to type something on this. So you could see here you have something which is called type into. I can click on that, and it is installing the dependencies. It will install the packages, and then it is asking you where do you want to do that, right? Select a tab to automate. I want to automate the all this tab. I am interested into this Acme search, right? It has taken all the tabs from my all the different machines. So I'm interested into this one, Acme one search, right? And then it has taken the screenshot, type into, right? Indicate target on the screen. Where do you want to type? I click on that and I just point it to where do I want to type. I want to type here, or I want to type here. I want to type it here. Collecting the target information. It will do all its magic and I just have to confirm it, right? And then what is the text you want to type? I'll just pass the number because that's what I already have. You can get this number again from an email, generative AI, your implementation. And then once that is done, I want to click on that button, right? So I just go here and I say click, and you can see inside the UI automation I have a click. So whatever you are supposed to do, you can just do that. I'll just go here and I say click on this guy, which is the search. It will do its magic again, creating selectors, descriptors, and I'll say confirm. And that's it, right? Now if everything works as expected, if I run this automation, it should go and type something here and give me the results, right? So I'll go here and I say test step by step. Okay, and you can see here a live stream feed of it because it is on the same browser. So you have the live stream feed which is coming here, so you don't have to leave the browser to see what is happening. I can say continue, and I would be able to see the things which is happening on that browser, right? See, it went to that page, right? But now I didn't actually log in, right? Because it was looking for a login. So you can say take the control, and I can just automate all other stuffs as well, right? Because I forgot that this is a what you call password based site, right? I was already logged in, but I hope you got an idea, right? So I am actually now working with the robot, and as soon as I logged in, it was successfully able to go to that page and it completed the execution here into a separate session. It didn't use my session, it opened its new session. But same like I was able to do that thing, you can do all of that stuff, right? And here if I go to UI automation, right, you would see that you have take screenshot, hover, mouse scroll, highlight, JavaScript, use the browser, select the item, go to the URL, check, uncheck, a lot of the things, right? So with a combination of UI automation, integration, generative AI activities, you can build a lot and lot more of use cases, right? And lastly, in case you want to learn more about these generative AI activities, right? I have my own channel which is called Tutorials by Mukesh Kala, where I teach all of this in a step-by-step manner. So a lot of content is available. We have already built a couple of more use cases for you to help there, right? And with that, I can stop the recording and happy to answers any questions, comments, feedback you have. Yeah, Rudranil, over to you.
Yeah. That being said, so that was wonderful, wonderful explanation, wonderful presentation, Mr. Mukesh. It was great to address that. And I hope everybody was quite understanding whatever the workflows and the use cases that we were explaining. Okay, so I guess we have few queries that will be coming up. All right, guys, you can just post your queries now if you have any, and we can quickly address them. So there's a query I can see. How can we use Java code in UI Studio Web?
Okay, so you have something which is called inject JS that you can use, right? Direct Java code, if you want to invoke, then you cannot use on web. You have to use the studio version of it. However, whatever the code you have written for Java can be actually directly done with UiPath activities, right? So we don't have to reinvent the wheel by first writing a Java code and then calling that into this. If you still have a requirement, yes, you can absolutely do that. In UiPath Studio, which is the desktop version of it, you have something which is called coded automation, where you can actually code same like you code into VS Code or any other thing, right? So you can directly write the code as well. But my suggestion would be, if it is like an absolute Java thing, then yes. Otherwise, there is no point on reinventing the same thing, right? Writing in Java and calling here. But yes, you have options.
All right, great. So here we have another question from Oluze. Can I use this to build a customer support agent?
Yes, absolutely. Agent is the new thing, right? And if you see here, as of now, I was running it manually by clicking on that button. On front of it, you can actually create an interface. It can be a Java interface. If you are specifically want to stick to UiPath, UiPath has something which is called UiPath Autopilot, which is a chat-based agent, which I can, if I quickly share my screen, that's a good question. Let me just share my screen, entire screen. Tick, 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 here it is. So if you are specifically talking about UiPath, right? So I'll just minimize this. We have this guy, which is a UiPath assistant, which is a chat-based interface, which you can do all this stuff, and which is also a product from UiPath. And whenever you want to do that, you can just go and put the stuff here. Image data extraction, do the chat, and this is connected to your automations, whichever you write into the studio web. So I can use all of that and build a customer support chatbot, hook it up to the autopilot and this thing, right? Autopilot is a different tool altogether, right? In case, again, as I mentioned, if you go to the channel which I shared, you would have the concepts of autopilot explained there as well. So you can follow that, Luis. Yeah, over to you, Rudra.
All right, great. So Gurpreet Sani has a question. I tried building an automation to ping my emails on the Slack, but messaging to me on Slack is not working. Whereas email get pulled from Gmail. Any idea?
Yeah, there might be a reason for that, right? You might have not allowed the third party to send an email on your behalf. The second thing could be that you are behind some firewall, you might be behind some policies which is restricting you to stop sending this, right? And again, addressing Gurpreet, right? If you have any such questions where you are stuck, you don't have to wait. You can go to a website which is called forum.uipath.com, right? Which is called UiPath Forum. It's called, if you just Google UiPath Forum, it is a one stop solution where all the developer, solution architect, product managers are there. You can just put the screenshot, ask the question, and the community will help you there as well, right? So even after the session, if you get stuck, you can post the query there. But for this thing, it may be one of these reasons which I just mentioned.
Okay. Following on that question, she is asking. Slack automation shows successful, but I can't see the message from the bot.
I can't see the message from the bot. Check in your studio web, right? What is happening? It might be stuck at that point where you have to manually click on continue, right? As I was clicking, right? Continue. You might be running it on the studio. If you're running it end to end, you have to actually publish the solution. But if you're using on studio web, it might be stop at that point and waiting for your inputs, because we are manually triggering the automation. So you might have something which is called continue. You can click on that, and that should actually give you the response from the bot as well, right? And it might happen that you might have used the wrong variable, or you might have passed the incorrect input itself is not there. Two reasons. First reason could be that the input itself is not there. The second reason could be input is there but it's not displayed, right? So we have to first find the root cause, which one it is.
Oh, all right, great. Moving ahead, everything factual is asking: is it possible to make AI agent that can be published for others to use, kinda like ChatGPT and DeepSeek?
Yes, absolutely. So this what you see, which I just mentioned, right? This is autopilot for everyone. You just have to go to cloud.uipath.com and onboard the users to this one. And now I can just invite you by sending a link. You will have access to this one. and this also comes with a web version as well. So yes, definitely. And on top of that, if you already have some kind of interfaces like Team, Slack and all, you can also integrate these solution to that as well with the help of integration services connectors. Lot of possibilities.
Wonderful. All right. So moving ahead, can we? Amarnath said is asking, can we connect more external tools and build an agent that can perform more tasks?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You can build any number of tools, right? As I shown the catalog of the tools that is there. Also, UiPath has a tool which is called Agent Builder, right? Which, if for the people who are more interested to build agents, right now whatever we are showing, it's like automation with generative AI, right? That is still automation. If you are more interested to build on agents, UiPath has a different tool which is called Agent Builder. There you can build all of these agents as well, right? And that works exactly on the same concept which I shown today. You would feel no difference there. But to answer your question, yes, you can use anything, right? Slack, Gmail, Outlook, whatever you want to use.
All right. Great. So I'll move ahead to Anil Chronicle. She's asking, how can we use this UiPath Studio as an API such that we can send requests to it from a web app?
Yes, yes, you can. So once you publish this automation, right? So as of now, we are writing this on the Studio Web. At the top of the thing, you would have a publish button. When you click on publish, that goes to something which is called Orchestrator. Orchestrator is a one-stop repository to manage all of this, and Orchestrator has exposed the APIs. And these are again the free APIs. If you just Google and you search for UiPath Orchestrator APIs, you will get all the API things. So you can uh, call this API. I'm just taking example as a Python. So you can have a Python solution. Python solution hits the orchestrator API. From the orchestrator, you hit the solution and you pass and do the data transactions, right? So that's absolutely possible.
All right, great. So here we go. Brian Omosa has, can we prompt the agent to handle multiple tasks? Use case the invoices, the agent to multitask on numerous invoices at a go.
So there are two questions here, right? Can we prompt the agent to handle multitask, right? Multitask is something like I say that, okay, go to my email, download my attachment, save it in a folder, read the email, and the huge multiple task, right? Can I do that? Yes, you can do that, right? But since it is generative AI, you might not get the result what you want. So what is the best practice? The best practice is to divide your requirement into small pieces. So first, if I have to do it, I will just say that go to my mailbox, download the attachment. One part of the automation is done. The next part would be, from this attachment, read each and every invoice from my folder, specify the folder. And when I say each and every attachment, this is going to run a loop. In UiPath Studio Web or Studio, you would find for each, while, do while, for each file in a folder, right? So all you have to do is just use those activities, point it to the folder where you have invoices, and in, you don't have to specify if I have 100, 200, you just have to specify for each in this folder. It will go run through all that and then it will come out. So hope that answers.
Okay, great. So scrolling up, there are a few more questions. Okay. Okay, Abdullah Abtahi, what makes UiPath Studio Web different from no-code automation tools like Make and N8N?
Okay. N8N and Make, these are good, right? But see, two things what make it different, right? There are a lot of other differences which you can always search on internet, but what I see, the main thing is, the first one is the integration to the native applications. Like, I was able to connect to my Outlook within just a matter of click. I do not have to pay for the tokens. The second thing is, it's a low code tool. Without having any coding knowledge, if you just know how do you pass the data between multiple activities, you can do that. The third thing is, I just mentioned two, so let me go for the third one, which is like browser based. I don't have to install anything, right? I just started with a sign up. That's how it is different.
Mhm. All right. Uh, Japatha Jacob has, this is my first time using this AI agent. How can I quickly become familiar with the interface?
Okay, so you can go and you can go to something which is called UiPath Academy, and there you have a complete full-fledged course which is in a step-by-step manner to guide you this, which is called academy.uipath.com, and you have all the tutorials, everything from scratch, examples, whatever you want is available from for you to get started with, and it's all free by the way. You don't have to pay for that as well.
All right. Cool. So I think there are no questions right now. I believe everybody is well equipped with that. Uh, just scrolling a little bit more. No, they are done. Okay, Gurpreet again. The full automation show successful. Just the issue is that message not pop up on Slack.
Okay, maybe you can just try to print that message, Gurpreet. It might happen that the message itself is not there, right? So you might want to just use the log message activity and see whether the message is coming or not. If it is coming on the studio, then you need to investigate on the Slack, right? And maybe what you can also do is create a small workflow which is just sending a hello to the Slack. If that is done, then you connect that same automation to here.
Okay. Um, we have another question. Okay, this is little familiar. I am not familiar with AI automation to UI agent or coding. Where can I learn the beginner friendly course?
Yeah. Again, the same thing, which is called. Okay, let me. I can share my screen and show it to the all the people, right? So I think that would be the best. Tick, 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 entire screen. Tick, tick, this share. So you're able to see my screen, right? Rudranil, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so we have something which is called academy.uipath.com, right? And if you see here, if you scroll down, you have all these different parts for depending on your requirement, right? You can be a business analyst, AI professional, infrastructure engineer, business analyst. Since you guys are developers, so you can start with something which is called automation developer. Then you click on this link which says deep dive the automation developer role. Click on that, and then you just have to follow these roadmap 1 2 3 and 4. One is nothing, the second is the automation explorer course, the third one is this, the fourth one is the certification. But if you just go and follow this 6 step roadmap, you would be an expert. This roadmap also shows how you can do the paid certification and all the other stuff which you require, but you can just go here and do it, right? Maybe if you are someone who is more into the business analyst side of it, you can just come to the same page and use the any other roadmap: process mining, automation developer, infrastructure. If you are someone who is more into infrastructure side of it, or someone who is into the AI, specialized AI, you can follow these roadmaps, right? The site is academy.uipath.com, right? So I think two questions were there for the same thing, so yeah, that answers.
great. Okay, so Michael has a question. Can we use it to build a scrapper and then connected the data scrap to a database, all using the UI
Yes,
paths?
yes, absolutely. It has something which is called data scraper. You can find it. It can extract the structured data, it can extract the unstructured data as well. You have something which is called extract data, which is a direct activity, and you don't have to write any piece of code, Michael. You just have to use an extract data activity. Click on any of the link and it should be able to get the data, right? The activity is called extract data. It's a part of the UI automation, same like I was clicking typing. You have something which is called extract data, and then you can connect to the database, pass the data, and you should be able to insert.
Great. Okay, please, how do we submit our AI agent for the hackathon? Okay, could you just explain like how do they need to build their workflow, and if they can share it over like let's say a link or a PPT, what will be the best way to share it over the submissions tab, so that will be easier for them to understand.
Yeah, okay. So I will just share my screen again. Okay, okay, I can just go here.
The
Sorry.
screen is not visible by the way.
Sorry, I just went to the wrong tab. Here it is. Present, share the screen, entire screen, and this one, share. Just move this to here. Okay,
Yeah,
and then here it
great.
is, right?
Yeah,
So you go to UiPath Studio Web, right? You
Mm-hmm.
create the projects, right? So this is our project which we have created, right? You will get the instruction that what you have to create, what you have to do, and all those things, right? Now, if you see here, you have this option which is like share, right? You can click on this share button and you can just share, or maybe the easy way where you want to upload it, right? You can just go here, click on this three dots, don't click on share because then you need to invite the people to your thing, right? You can just click here, you see this one which is the download, right? I can click on
Mm-hmm.
this button which is download, and that will download the project as a zip for you. UIP project, right? Which looks something like this, right? And then you just have to send to compress zip, and you just attach it to the paths and all, right, which routinely you are going to share to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Google Drive links and all, right? So you just can, once you have created the project, tested it running fine, go to the three dots, click on download, and that will extract this thing. And anybody who wants to reuse it, for example, I want to reuse it, I'll just go here and I'll say import, and then I'll be able to import and I'll be able to see the solution. That's how it works.
Okay, so they do not need to submit a link or anything. So the download, let's say, will be enough. So
Yes.
so will it be visible in
Yeah.
a visible like PDF format or PPT, anything like that, or?
I think for the submission, right, we can have two things for that. It is easy. One is the code, definitely, which we are going to see, right? And the other thing is when I created and executed, right, finally, I have this output which is available here,
Mm-hmm.
which was in my output panel, right? So if you can just take a screenshot of the output,
Mm-hmm.
that would help.
Okay, so
That's
this
it,
will
right?
also be
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So code is something like where I need to validate, right? That yes, you
Mhm.
have actually done it. That's for us. The second thing is once you have run it, right, as I was running, and you can just say test step by step, and you would see the output here. You can maybe just take a complete screenshot of this, just moving it here, put it in the complete thing, take a screenshot with this thing, and I think we are good. Yeah.
Okay, great, great, wonderful.
Like this, right?
Understood.
So this is my thing. So if I have to submit it, I'll just take a screenshot of this, and then we are good, right? So we can see that it has triggered and it has the output. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a visible proof that okay, things
Yes, we
are
have
moving.
done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so Bola Job has a question. What are the charges using the platform? I believe it's free.
It's free.
It's free. It's totally free. Yes.
It's totally free. You don't have to even pay for the tokens which I use. And by the way, the account which I'm using is also the cloud account, which is free. So you don't have to pay anything.
All right, so we have some more questions. Is this a live session? Can be shared by you? So yes, it will be shared. You can just check the interaction session of the hackathon. Once they will be getting the recorded session. Gurpreet again has a question, Mukesh, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so we have to upload the zip to Drive and then share the Drive public link.
you can, yeah. So I think you're going to share the instruction to them, right, Rudhanil, after this, right?
Yes,
So I
I
think we
mean
can put
yes,
it.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
will share you the instructions. So you just have to zip your code and maybe upload it there, or you can just upload the image of the screenshot, right? So I think that should be fine. You'll get the instruction on your email
I
directly.
guess
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we'll anyway do that. On no. All right, cool. Again, she has a question. I think I got the issue. Do we have to add the message as the output? Because currently there is only one variable that is message timestamp in the Slack part. Is it?
I don't understand the question. For the Slack part, right? So you can just see what all variables you have there. You can maybe click on the plus and then it will show what are the other variables. And
Okay.
if you have any issues, right, you can just right click on that, and there you have something which is called help. Okay, so any activity which you are using on Studio Web, right click on that activity, you will see something which is called help. Click on that, it will navigate you to the official documentation. There you have all the details, how to use that activity, and all the demos and everything is available there. And lastly, if that does not work, forum.
Okay. Rudra has another question. How do I link up the tools which aren't available in the integration option, such as Airtable, to automate the task?
So a table and something which are not available, right? You have to use the API, right? A table, I believe, has an API. So first, okay, there are three steps to connect any application. First step is to use the integration service. Default integration available, well and good. The second way is that hit the API with the help of API automation. You can just use HTTP request. I believe you already know what is API. So you just call the API of Air table and get to and fro the data. No API, then you can go to the third step, which is like the UI automation, which is user interface automation, where you ask the robot first to open the application and do the clicks and all, and then extract the information and pass it to this, right? Three ways to do it.
Okay. So, few more questions. Divya Arora, hi, is this bootcamp only for students? Just know, Divya, it's for everyone. So, professional students, anyone freelancing, anyone from startup, college students, school students, anyone. It's for everyone. It's very basic. I believe that, yes. Okay. Bola job. Can we host the application built on your platform on another platform like AWS or Azure, etc.?
Not the thing, but you can you can host the orchestrator on AWS on Azure. So all of this code, whatever we are writing, right, it's something, it generates something which is called NUPKG, which is a NuGet package, and that is understable by orchestrator, which is a product of UiPath. So in AWS Azure, you will install the orchestrator. It does not give you the exe. It will give you NuGet
Great,
package.
great, great. Wonderful. I guess that's it. I don't really think any more questions are there. So our job is done.
Okay.
So all right, great. Thank you everyone for joining this session and for asking so many questions. It was really great to have you guys over here. And anyone who hasn't like got to see this recording is available. Also, we will be having more such boot camps coming up in the next few weeks and in this whole month. So please don't worry about that. You can join on that as well. One more question, Mr. Mukesh.
Yeah,
Can
good.
we, Hassani asks, can we import workflows from other platforms like Make and N8N? Yeah,
No, no. You
that's not
can use them as an API, right? Because that's a different platform. It works on VB. It is more from a .NET, right? And N8N is, I think it's writing Python or something. You can convert that code to this language and the new case, but direct import is not possible.
okay. Great. Can we do a QA test task? I mean,
Yes,
yes.
you have a different tool for that, which is called UiPath Test Suite. Completely AI driven based test manager, test suite, everything whatever you want to do with testing can be easily done. Automation, regression testing, smoke testing, everything can be done with UiPath as well. It has a different tool altogether which is called UiPath Test Suite or Test Manager.
Great, great, wonderful. All right, so I think we're done. So, all right, it was wonderful. It was wonderful this session. Thank you, Mr. Mukesh. Thank you for coming up today, taking up time and sharing this wonderful UI paths workflow and helping everyone. So I believe everybody has understood. Uh, if you have any questions anymore, you can just ask it right now, or we'll wrap it up. Before wrapping up, I would like to say one more thing. The submission mini challenge will be available by 2, so please go through it once, and 24 hours will be placed for it, so please try to submit it within 24 hours. So from today to IST to tomorrow 2 p.m. IST, please make sure on that, and yes, we are good to go. All right, great. So I guess there are no questions anymore, so we can wrap it up. All right.
Great.
Thank you for coming up. Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you for coming up and taking up this session. It was wonderful having you. It was wonderful to see you explain and answering all the questions. It was really commendable. Thank you, Mr. Mukesh.
Thank you. Thanks guys. Bye. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.